Okay, today is July 14th, 2018, on the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. Get ready for the Emerging Sea Broadcast System, the Forbidden History Series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Because somebody's got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Do tell your friends. Let's get ready to have a happening. And tonight we're going to be talking about the misused words of our English diction, symbolism, and a whole lot more. Still time to call your friends. Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society. Nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the RealPublicRadio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way, twice a day, 7 days a week, on the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. And that's now 8 a.m. every morning and 9 p.m. every evening, ladies and gentlemen, on the RealPublicRadio.net, the Forbidden History Series. Stand by for the broadcast. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History Series, the great lies of history, the piracy of words, those words that kill, they killed us with. The original gospel, transliteration project, the original thought and diction. What else do you want to know? We'll talk about it right here. Sky Watchers, I just saw the grass burning down at the bottom of the hill today. I can't believe it. There's no drought, and the grass is burning. Green grass, thick green grass, burning up in the sun. And hello, Jedi, good to have you. And Star Wilson, great to have you. You got a story to tell. I haven't heard it yet. So anyway, and I am your host, Desert Owl, bird who sees in the night. I know too much. I'm trying a little music, as you notice in the background, so I'm looking for balance. If you can give me a heads up on the balance, friends. Okay, a 10 is best. I need the audio so it's the music so it's low enough so you can hear me. So the music should be low and my voice should be dominant. So can you give me on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I coming through? Audio check on the Forbidden History Series. Okay, because I'm trying something new here. Got to keep growing, you know. And anyway, let's listen to these words for a minute. So much magnificence.
Waves are coming in. Waves are coming in.
Are those waves coming in? Thank you, Jedi. Okay. So right now, I'm just playing the music. I'm just listening to these beautiful words. And can you hear it okay, or is it too low? Now I need to know that.
Waves are coming in. Waves are coming in.
Turn the music down, Jedi. Okay. That's too low. Okay, I'm going to turn down that speakers. I don't know if it comes in now. So anyway, we're doing a test here, and I'll have to listen to my own recording to figure out where this is going. It's nice. Yeah, this is my favorite musicians, actually, Diva, Primo, and Mitten, with a guy who plays a great flute as well. And thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much. So trying to get innovative here while all my stuff's still on my other computer. I just got inspired today. Coming back, I want to have a little song. You know what I mean? It helps. We need. I do it on a song, a wing, and a prayer. They got all the money. I don't have any money, but you know, we get the job done somehow because it's got to be done. You know, people need to know the truth. And little echo. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, I think I know why. All right, well, we're going to just shut that off now. And thank you for Diva and Mitten on that beautiful music. And so here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. I've been off for a week, and you know, it was hard after I got off the horse to want to get. Not that I didn't want to get on, but it's really hard to do this at times. You know, when you see your world falling apart, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, and we're going along for the ride. You know, it's pretty painful when you think of all the suffering that's going on in the world right now. Forget about what's about to happen. People are suffering. You know that. People are suffering all over the world. Starvation, the bludgeoning of war, and you know, plus the mind control and the deception. What do you want to talk about? The pedophile racket that's a worldwide phenomena, all under the auspices of the Vatican and the secret societies. It's a sick world, ladies and gentlemen. But later tonight, after I take care of a little bit of business, we're going to be talking about. Well, basically, I'm here to tell you that words, ladies and gentlemen, are not what you think. Okay, hear me out. Words are not what you think, and so we're going to have to find out. I got a whole list of words. I really wanted to do something special tonight that will put it all on, you know, the frying pan and let you see the real problem we have. So we're going to deal with general terminology, then the you know, legal, then our spiritual. Okay, and we'll be able to see that words are not what we think. And a great quote is by Confucius off the top of my head. I'll see if oh, here it is. Okay, if the words that you use are incorrect, then what you say is not what you mean. And if what you say is not what you mean, then all science, religion, history, law will all fall apart and go astray. And all of the people will be standing around in helpless idleness. And this is not only important, but it matters above everything else. Okay, so the words, if they're incorrect, then you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're thinking, because you know what you want to convey, but yet you're using terminology. You know, and I mean, one of the most classic ones, I think, is when you go into a courtroom and they say, "Do you understand? Do you understand the charges?" And then you say, "Well, yes, sir, I understand the charges," and then you just admitted to being a drunkard, a buffoon, an imbecile, and a couple other derogatory terms. Okay, because you're too pathetic to be able to handle and manage your own affairs. And so just okay, Jen, we'll to February 2019. Okay, where are you going? Anyway, we can talk later on that. Okay, so anyway, but you know, because we have some new people that are coming on to the program, and I'm kickstarting again, I want to read my you know, a little bit about what I talk about, because I've noticed that with the broadcast, everybody's listening to the last program, but nobody's gone back to the premiere. You know, when you look at the numbers, and is listening from the beginning, because I did a primer with the first several programs, and then people don't listen to the primer, and then they come in the middle when most of you have been following me down the trail, and you got the picture, you know where I'm going and where, you know, what we've covered. But then you know, people come in the middle, and then they think, oh, you know, okay, desert smoking something, or what have you, and and they can't follow because they don't know the terminologies that we're using. So I'm going to start in a little mini primer here about what I talk about, and then we'll get right into the words. And this will be like another primer. Okay, it'll be another primer, but it's more advanced now because we've gone from the kindergarten, and now we're getting into the grade school here, and we're moving up forward. We got a long way to go in a short time to get there, and so I'm putting everything on the table like I've never done before. It's a culmination of a life's work, okay? But these are the signs of the times. And in essence, I discuss the history of the world and how the unseen hand has been running it from the very beginning of time, who they are, and how they have founded all the first great civilizations that are found all around the world, about who the giants really were and are, and the ancient Aryan caste and slave system, the priesthoods, the anti-gravity vimanas, the earth-based misnomered UFOs, which are man-made, the control of all forms of communications, commerce, religion, mass media, pseudo-politics, etc. It is the grand deception that is used to control all of mankind and all instituted through the three main religions of the world, in particular used as their grand cover. And in each one of them, we have the men who wear dresses, and we'll talk more about that. Their cyber code has been revealed to me because I have been adept within the study of ancient alphabets, communications, symbolism, religion, custom, law, cosmology, and mythology, not to mention the fallacy of today's political science and pseudoscience in particular. I can also define the true nature of their warfare, their shell game of bringing one civilization up for their temporary use and then taking it down for the next 500-year generational cycle, as symbolized by the classical phoenix. I discussed the ultimate in mind control and ancient art and the financial control, the secret societies and their blood occult rituals, and how they wage all wars throughout all time as depopulation programs through the nations that they have created, which are all but imaginations, plantations, and mere corporations. They have taken blood oaths to surrender their self-will and mind to their blind goddess who has demanded our blood from the very beginning of time. They communicate to their minions through the movies, TV, and print media, not to mention all their secret hand signals. While I can see, read, and interpret most all of it, it all says that they are using us for our ingenuity, for our collective, constructive labor, for experimentation, and in the end, they intend to kill us all because they won't need us anymore. They have given us full notice of what they are doing and what they fully intend to do, while all of the general population, the sheeple, they merely go there to be entertained. The New World Order is the old world order, the one world order from the beginning of time. There is a major cosmic natural disaster that is about to happen on Earth, and they know it. And they are cleverly leaving us in the dark, hence the reason that they have built hundreds of underground bases all around the world, while they are leaving all of the people to remain unprepared, uninformed, and above ground, frying in the sun. So that when it comes, the mere 5% who will survive above ground will die from the weaknesses and the man-made diseases that they have generated from all their poisons that they have been feeding us, from the chemtrails to fluoride in the water to tainted vaccinations to fake food to bioengineered viruses soon to come, and so on and so on. And they've been doing it from the beginning, like the laced blankets that they gave to the first Native Americans that were here, laced with smallpox. Nothing new under the sun, ladies and gentlemen. They have enslaved us all by the clever means of deception, because we, most of all, are their cattle, chattel, property. At least they think so. And because they merely wanted to harness our labor, what they always needed. That's what makes commerce go around, put two and two together, which is what backs most of the world's currency through the birth certificate, a security instrument, making you the surety and the slave. But they are all through with us now. It is written in stone, as it can be seen written in the Georgia Guidestones. To know the truth. To know the truth is to be empowered and to be prepared. We may not be able to stop what has been done and what is about to happen, but the innocent and the decent people on planet Earth, they deserve to know, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you think so? I do. And that's why I'm here, because I think decent people deserve to know. And I'm so honored to have some wonderful friends out here today on this channel that I've come to know over the past several weeks. And so it's a real profound experience You know, went a whole year and the phone never rings, nobody to talk to after a year. All he did was talk, then there's nobody to talk to. It's quite a killer. So now I'm so honored to have so many wonderful friends tuning in. And I'm sure more will jump on in a little while when they get their notices that we're on. But a lot of people are taking interest in the forbidden history and what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. And again, real quick, I'm so grateful. I don't know what happened to uh, uh, Star Wilson. That's her channel. Star Wilson is her channel, and I know that she took ill, and therefore I've been praying for her and telling our friends to pray for her. And here she is back. So Star, if you want to call in, you're welcome to. You're not obligated, but she's got a great musical channel, and where she's doing a lot of singing, and boy, is she talented. She's probably actually a millionaire superstar in another life, and just coming on the channel here with having fun. But we can find out more if you call in. Anyway, any of you, if you want to talk, okay, the line is open, right? Love to hear from you. Love to be able to stop me for a minute from talking and hear you talk. I've learned over the years that my listeners actually know stuff. You know, they listen to me for a couple of years. Then one day they call in and say, "Hey, Desert, I've been listening to you for a couple of years, but let me tell you something." And all of a sudden, I find out they came out of the families of the Illuminati. Thank you so much, Star. Thank you so much, and glad all of you are here as well. And so the number is 608-566-7295, 608-566-7295. Glad the prayers do make a difference, especially from those who are truly connected and have surrendered their self will for the higher power. Okay, and 608-566-7295. I'm sure you got that. And then our Skype, if you want to Skype in from another land out across the big water, that's Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. And you can also use the instant messenger. I'll definitely know you made a question. But if you have a comment or a question that you want me to read and don't not miss, then put the word question in all capital letters, and then a colon, and then upper and lower case with your question. But I'll see the capital letter word question. And if it's a request, same thing. Put request in all capital letters, colon, and then upper and lower case with your request. Or if it's just a comment that you want me to read, then put comment in all capital letters. And that way because I can't read everything that's going by and do a broadcast, so it's a little challenging. I just kind of glance up there a little bit, and then I see somebody's talking to me. Okay, so and the first caller that calls in that doesn't have a copy gets a free copy of the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary or the Book of Wisdom, whichever they want, the Book of Wisdom or the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary, or a sample of the original thought translation project, the original gospel sample with a dictionary attached. Okay, so so I'm trying to do everything to get caller generated here, and because stuff, you've seen stuff. I found a YouTuber tonight that actually got some out of Tennessee, I think it was, and Star was there. It wasn't a Star, I think it was. No, that was Sundoggin. Yeah, she was on that other channel, and this guy in Tennessee, he'd been capturing the pictures of like 3 or 4 different orbs coming in all at the same time. It was really really, really cool. Wow, wish you could call. You can't call? Oh, Star, you're listening on the phone, right? That's it. And there's Australia, San Groper Studios. Hey, San Groper, good to have you. Been weeks since I've been talking to anybody. I'm glad you're here. So, and we need to get you on Skype. And there's a Sundoggin right there. And so good to have our friends dropping in. And so, here's a quote. A lie. Well, wait a minute. Before I do that, because I don't, I'm trying to cover several grounds, and I wanted to cover the. Well, this is a good way to open it, because I just want to touch on the cosmic stuff real quick before I get into the words, okay? And I also have a book that you want to know about. It's called The Two Babylons. So I want to do a quick book review. Then we're going to get in words. But a lie will race around the world while the truth is slowly putting on its shoes. Let me read that again. A lie will race around the world, right? Everybody's, all the underworld. They're spreading all the lies about people, about things, about our world, and then the media. They're regurgitating it, and all of a sudden the lie becomes a truth, right? Because everybody keeps hearing it. It's got to be true. I heard it on television, But the truth is, a lie will race around the world while the truth is slowly putting on its shoes. And the truth is confident, ladies and gentlemen. The truth is confident with what it knows within itself, even when it falls on deaf ears, right? Even when it falls on deaf ears, we know. And oh, your phone is dead. Okay, sorry to hear that, Star. Um, okay, well, one day down the road here. But if you don't know where you're going, okay, talking about that truth and the lies and deceptions that have been so great, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Any road will get you there. Profound quote, and it's so true. Any road, and that's what most people are doing. They're stumbling through life. They've taken for granted that whatever they've learned on Sunday every 45 minutes is going to save their lives. But yet it's a total transformation that is every moment of the day, 7 days a week. It's another world. It's a transformation of being, and you're no longer of this world. And so I talk about those deeper aspects of the metaphysics of our spiritual walk, and most people aren't in the churches, what we call churches today, aren't talking metaphysics. They don't talk cosmology or cosmogony. They don't they don't interpret the deeper meanings of these the metaphors and symbols within our scripture, because there's the story, but then there's the story behind the story, and that's what we have to get to. So we're going to get to that in a minute, but now I just want to oh yeah, okay, that'll be the opener when I go into the words. Okay, that'll be that picture on the graphics there today. You're looking at in the that mountain scene you're looking at is literally the tallest peak in the contiguous United States. It's in Central California, 100 miles west of Death Valley. It's the tallest peak called Mount Whitney, 14,500 feet, and I climbed to the top of that at that very, very broad section right there in the middle, that very wide part, and right at the very peak of that. And I'll explain that when I get there. But I went down to the bottom of the hill just before the program tonight, about an hour before, and I just wanted to see there were plants dying around the Amish trail down at the bottom of the hill where the old train station is, and they converted it to an Amish trail, pulled up all the rail track, and there's a beautiful park area, and I had seen plants along the tree line that were dying, about 5 different species a few weeks ago. And I went down there to see what's happening. And, we're not having a drought here. We've been having rain. We've been having regular periods of rain. So we have not had a drought. And the beautiful thick lawn that is down there at the railroad station at the park, that's never trampled upon hardly. Just little kids play on it periodically, or, somebody throws a ball. But this thick grass, thick, solid, full green. And I couldn't believe it, but I went down there, and it's dying. The grass is dehydrating, and it's all these patches of yellow and brown, and it literally we've had rain. Okay, we have had rain. So it's the sun, it's the UV B and C radiation that is penetrating down on the on our earth, and this is the reason I'm wanting to go back to this topic again, because I haven't been talking much on the sky watching, because we know everybody out there is doing it, and I'm following all of you. I appreciate so much all your efforts going out in the sun, but you need to protect yourself, okay? And I don't know what's happened to Higher Truth Channel, but he's not been on for about a month, and they tried to kill him twice, mainly because he exposes the healing principles of cancer, but he's got a double whammy because he's also exposing the extent of the UV B and C radiation we're getting. That's and also the additional cosmic activity with the sun because of the binary star system that's here. In other words, the sun is reacting to another body of a similar nature, and so all of this helium and all this other, I can't explain it, atomic stuff is going on, and it's bad enough the sun is being eclipsed by these other planetoids and that are coming in as well. But he explains it better than anyone, and he was showing us charts about the UVB and C radiation, you got to go look at his back issues. Just go to his back issues, all right? But I want to just read you. Now, you don't have to get a pen and try to write this down because you got the recording. You can play it back when we're done, but I'm going to read off the protocols of what you need to be taking, ladies and gentlemen, for your health, for your family, all right? Everybody should be on this stuff. If you got the money, I can't afford hardly any of this. I got C60, okay? So at the top of the list is C60, also known as Carbon 60. You can go check it out at a website called c-60.com. That's c-60.com for more information. And this guy uses sunflower oil, but it's at a premium price. But if you go to Amazon, you can get the best price. That's what I do. The price has gone down twice now. I can't believe it, but it's called Good and Cheap C-60, Good and Cheap C60, and it's for $18.99. So if you search for that on Amazon, $18.99, you get a month supply, 19 bucks, less than 20. Okay, and then if you want to beat the radiation, now I'm talking about first the iodine. How do I say that? the iodine, radiated iodine. There we go, Desert. Very good. Radiated iodine, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just close my blinds here real quick. Hang on. Okay, got to do that. Okay, the radiated iodine. Radiated iodine. You got to get drops. Ever since Fukushima blew in apparently a man-made disaster, to hurt all of us. I've been taking since 2011 either sea vegetable from Scott Kennedy, pharmacy.com, or the iodine drops. Okay, but you got to take iodine in your body because it will prevent the radiated iodine from absorbing into your body. But you don't want to eat Pacific seafood, because it's filled with radiation. So you've got to get your sea veg from the Atlantic Ocean off of Ireland, where Scott Kennedy gets it. So you can go to pharmacy.com, pharmasea, pharmasea, pharmacy.com. Phone number 855-627-9929, 855-627-9929. Remember, this is being recorded. You can go back on this, okay? Not to belabor this, but the pharmacy product called Sea Veg is like the most powerful supplement. If I could only take one supplement to nourish my body for nutrition, I'd be taking Sea Veg from pharmacy.com. It is a super food. And you can eat the whole bottle and you won't overdose on iodine because it's balanced in nature. When it's balanced in nature, your body will only take what it needs. For the heart, you need coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10, ladies and gentlemen, and star. I think you were having a problem with your ticker. So what Lynn told me, and I hope you got that all worked out. I don't know. I'm just glad you recovered quick. That's the good news. But this is the whole thing with this UVC and B. Okay, basically what our naturopathic doctor and coming from 3 generations of physicists has told us is that we can't go in the sun anymore. Okay, he said over the last 2 years, 700 police dogs have died because they stay in the automobile and they're getting a concentrated dose of the UV, B, and C, and they have a faster circulatory system, so they're dying quicker. And then like 150,000 people, I said, over the last year, he claims have died of heart attacks. The symptoms of the sun, UV, B, and C is cataracts, heart attack, and hernia. And when I called my landlord in Georgia to let him know this stuff, he told me he just had a hernia operation and he didn't know why he needed it because he didn't do any heavy lifting. So it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. The DNA, what happens is the UVB and the UVC goes to the DNA, goes right through your body and breaks down the DNA, and that's when that's why your heart breaks down, your vision breaks down, your stomach muscles break down, you get a hernia, your ligaments will break down, you start pulling a joint. Okay, so you need to fight it with this other tools. You got to feed your body the most powerful food supplement you can get. Okay, so that's coenzyme Q10 for the heart. I can't afford it, I'm not on it, but I'm telling you just for if you can. Okay, vitamin D3. All right, since you can't go in the sun, vitamin D3, 5,000 IUs. Okay, tonics, chlorophyll, or chlorophyllin, daily tonic, chlorophyll. This is a per our naturopathic doctor who's an expert in all this, all right? And then, of course, Bragg's apple cider vinegar and concentrated lemon juice. Bragg's apple cider vinegar, concentrated lemon juice, an ounce of lemon juice with a tablespoon of vinegar, 8 ounces of water. You can drink it several times a day. The more you drink, the better it is for you. You know, turmeric, 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 and the more the better. Turmeric is a miracle product, and especially for people with cancer situations, it nourishes the body. Okay, nourish the body will heal itself. The body is a miracle if you will feed it what it needs, ladies and gentlemen. Remove aluminum. Take horsetail to remove the aluminum like that's in the air from the aerosol spraying. Okay, and also in your creamer for your coffee, they put aluminum in everything, right? So horsetail, go do a Google search, check it out, and then CBD hemp oil. All right, CBD hemp oil. I'm sure you know about that. And then just be safe and well out there, okay? And when if you go in the sun, then only go in the sun. When the sun is coming up or when the sun is going down. Go with it as low in the. I'm glad to hear you're home from the hospital, Star. Apparently, that was a good deal. Okay, so be well. And what I'm saying is the sun. We can't go play in the sun anymore. Okay, we've got to just know that things have changed. Things have changed, and the most turmeric is also anti-inflammatory, very good. And the most affected by this, of course, are the little ones. The little ones are in the development stage. Yeah, I'm taking borax, Sundog. Thank you so much. Borax, yeah. I take an eighth. I believe it's an eighth of a spoon a day, about an eighth of a spoon a day. I take the weekend off. I just do it Monday through Friday. I put it in my coffee, but that's another nutrient. Another nutrient we've been denied, and but we're not telling anybody. I'm only telling you what I take. Okay, I'm really not telling you what to take. You make decisions for your own life, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, but that if it were me with the stuff I shared with you, I take it. Okay, when I can afford it. So Summer, we have a new listener. Summer is there. I've reversed radiation, which caused stroke. Pine bark, 714 hertz, and quantum detox sound. Tesla, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think frequency. Also 738 hertz, speed of sound. Very good. Thank you for that tip, Summer. We got the most knowledgeable people on earth coming in right here. Okay, so I think I covered everything on the cosmic. I tried to get that gentleman to come on tonight to share what he's been seeing in the sky, but I don't remember the name of his channel now. So I'll try to write it down, and I can do maybe tomorrow get it to you. All right. But yeah, this guy's got the channel. I was hoping he'd consider coming on. Okay, so he's probably doing something else. So it's okay. I think I got that covered. The sun protocols. Grass is burning down at the bottom of the hill. We're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, so you look at that picture of the mountain, and you see that. That Mount Whitney is a beautiful mountain right outside the town of Lone Pine in California. And back when I started to get deeply spiritual, back when I was living in San Diego, I just one more note. Okay, I see a note here. The directed energy stuff. Of all the other things we did, we don't talk about. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Jeffrey Megaha. And that's the channel, isn't it, Sundog and Jeffrey McGahad? That's actually the name of his channel, correct? And so they can go there, look at his last YouTube, all right? So directed energy weapons, ladies and gentlemen. I just was watching some of that today, and they're doing it down in Australia now, and where Sandgroper is, they were doing it where in Portugal. This thing is a worldwide phenomenon with this directed energy, the Project Bluebeam. Yeah, okay, that's confirmed. Jeffrey Megaha. Okay, go check out that YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. It's right there on the screen. Okay, and so they're gonna burn all the homes. That's what's coming. That whatever they're doing right now is just the experiment. Just the experiment. Okay, they're just ramping up. These people, they follow the Babylonian Talmud, and it's interesting that Islam and the Talmud basically follow the same prescription for mankind, and that's to destroy all mankind. and that only they'll be left alive according to their prescription, you know. And we know that in the book of Freemasonry and Morals and Dogma, they've got they've got Christians pegged. Their whole purpose for the last 2,000 years was to ultimately destroy Christianity, to put Yahweh to bed forever, and Yeshua, the Mashiach. Of course, we know they can't do that, but in their own arrogance, what they ultimately have done is, as we see in their attempt to want to kill us, they've destroyed our entire world. They're in the process of literally creating, as Dane Wigington so eloquently says every Saturday, that they have instigated and initiated the next sixth great mass extinction of all life on planet Earth, and it will go down quicker than any other disaster that ever occurred, other than a direct hit from a mega asteroid. Okay, so we're witnessing the end, ladies and gentlemen. All the signs are there. Look at the forest dying all around the world. Forest, right? Australia, just do forest dying, not just trees, forests. New Zealand, Canada, both sides of Canada, the Sierra Mountains, the Rocky Mountains. It's Europe, okay? You can see it by just doing a search. Um, and so the pictures don't lie. You know, they're worth 1,000 words. And so know that we are at the end. What I think Yeshua called the Gentile dispensation. Okay, the Gentile dispensation, we are being dispensed of. We are being dispensed. We're in the dispensary, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. Oh, the only thing we can do is to tell others, you know, to some other decent people out there. The rest of them I don't care about, but there are some decent people out there that want to know, deserve to know. You know, so I tried to think of the approach, you know, because we immediately assume nobody can hear us, right? Because they're brain dead, right? But I think, you know, to me, the best approach is to ask somebody as if to assume they already know and say, by the way, what do you think about the solar radiation we're being bombarded with right now? Or what do you think about the trees dying in all the different parts of the world right now? What do you think? In other words, hit them up directly with the question as if they already are supposed to know. And then, you know, then they'll say, well, I don't know anything about that. What are you talking about? You mean you don't know? You know, and try to draw them in, because, you know, to assume they know is giving them the benefit of the doubt that they have intelligence and that they should know. And if they don't know, then they should want to know. So that's why I think approaching would be good. Pine trees dying in Northern Virginia and Maryland. Okay, Sundog, and you see that. Okay, thank you for the bad news, further evidence. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into words now, and I'm just going to tell you a little story. And it is about my mountain experience. See, right there, Central California, and PA also. Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, so you got right outside my apartment in Ohio, right out across the street. All the evergreens, the bushes, 5 different species in the alley between my house and the other house. A holly bush, another bush. Okay, I don't even know what they all are, but they're in the shade. They're in the shade, and they're turning brown on all the edges of their leaves. Okay, I can't get over it. So we're witnessing something that is a mind blower. We never thought we'd be here, and they've destroyed our world. So let's talk about now the good news. Okay, let's go to some new good news. Let me take a sip of my drink, and we'll talk about how we can unravel the mystery of life and be set free. Okay, so that mountain on the screen there is Mount Whitney, ladies and gentlemen, and I went on a pilgrimage. When I started getting deep in reading my scriptures, I've been pretty well, you know, touched all my life and started reading scriptures when I was 16. But when I got to Southern California, I was about 21, 22 years old, and I had a vision to climb Mount Whitney because I saw really how inferior I felt, you know, in my life because of my parent. I was a free range chicken, basically. You know, my parents hatched me, and I didn't have anybody talking to me, and I learned everything I knew from my friends, and that's the worst way to learn stuff. And so I pretty much realized I had a lot of work to do on myself and to learn. So I hit the books, you know, and ended up with 2,000 books on the shelf. But right out the gate, when I started going deep in my spirituality, I wanted a vision. You know, I wanted, Father, touch me. Help me, please. I this I just don't know how I can reach up to you, and so I had went with some construction friends up to Yosemite that summer. That was probably like 1978. I'm going to guess 1978, and that was a long time ago. And so we went up to Yosemite. On the way back down, we went to Mount Whitney, and we climbed halfway up, and it was like, man, this is a big mountain. And so we came back down before it got dark, but I didn't forget that. And then when I went to San Diego, and then I started realizing, I needed to get some chi from the Father of Light. And so I went on a pilgrimage, and I just walked. I wasn't going to stick out my thumb. I didn't take any money with me. And I went on the classic spiritual pilgrimage, no food. And if somebody offered me a ride, I'd take it. If they offered me food or money, I'd take it. And I literally 2 days to get there, climbed up to the top, very top, right at the very face of it, above the tree line is 97 switchbacks, back and forth. Then when I got on the left side of the picture are the switchbacks, but they're you can't see them. But then you make it to the top of that accordion. It looks like an accordion of rocks. So from the left, you're walking on the other side behind all that, and I had oxygen deprivation, and literally didn't know if I could make it the last 100 yards to the very top. And when I got there, there's guys that just climbed that sheer cliff, that big cliff you're looking at in the middle, and they're sitting on the edge, hanging their feet over, drinking wine. And I literally couldn't hardly look over. It was so you could see Yosemite from up there, 100 some odd miles to the north. But so when I came off the mountain, I wrote, I just meditated and prayed up there, and then I had to come down before dark. I would have froze to death. So I come back down, and so it was like a 3-day odyssey of coming and going and getting back to San Diego. But right after that, within that week, the words just started opening up to me, and I realized, that I had received a type of an anointing, not a type, but an anointing of the Heavenly Father Yahweh and our Redeemer Yeshua, and it was to see into words, and also to recognize the truth. The fundamental problem about what we call religion is that the false teachings. But basically, Yeshua came here to set us free from ourself, to set us free from the serpent that is the flesh and the ego, all in one package, and to be set free, and to then to put to bed forever the failure that we were in the darkness, and to put on the light of truth, that we can live perfectly and be pure with conscience before our Redeemer. And it's through the power of Yeshua. So and that's not what's being taught, because they teach us in the other traditions that we're never going to live up to the standard. We're always going to fail. But it's not true. That's not what he said. Yeshua said, even greater works will you do than I did. All right. So he told us we would do greater works. We've got to read those scriptures, like people at the drop of a hat, they say, and this is a good lead into the words, by the way. Okay. People will say, oh, nobody's perfect. Okay. Well, okay. Let me see here. So you said nobody's perfect. So right out the gate, everybody. So therefore, nobody's perfect, but you don't know everybody. So you can't make that statement, because you only know a few people, and and you're already knowing in your heart that maybe you're not living perfectly. But Yeshua came. What does it say in our scriptures? Be perfect, for your Father in heaven is perfect. Behold, we speak wisdom among those who are perfect. He has perfected forever those who are sanctified and set aside. A perfect man offends not in word and deed. I mean, go look it up in the concordance. It's like in there about 22 times, which is the number of perfection. Okay, so we have to hear things we've never heard before. We have to stop listening to the to the Babylonian babble that is not according to the scripture, but just a bunch of people are regurgitating it because they they haven't done any real deep study on their own, and it's a great tragedy. This is the deprogramming program, and where we're going to set the record straight, because the lie has raced around the world, but the truth puts on the tennis shoes real slow, because there's no hurry. Those who want the truth will receive the truth, and nobody can make anybody see anything. The word "behold" means you must see and read it for yourself, and so we are into the great lies of history and the words that kill, ladies and gentlemen. And the this special edition, The Misused Words of Our English Diction. Um, and again, words are not what you think. That's an interesting statement, is it not? Words are not what you think. Wait a minute. Okay. I think, and therefore I have words. I think, therefore I am. But words are not what you think. So look, we're going to take a look at words, but I'm going to read that quote one more time by Confucius. If the words that you use are incorrect, then what you say is not what you mean. And if what you say is not what you mean, then all the science, religion, history, and law will all fall apart and go astray. And all of the people will be standing around helpless and idle. And this is not only important, but matters above everything else. And it was also Confucius who said that symbols and signs and symbols rule the world, not law nor words. Okay, so symbolism is even more important, and this is how I am able to transliterate words because it's based on their symbols, and this is part of the mystery. Okay, and I'm going to be going through the alphabet in the days ahead. We're back broadcasting again. I'm getting got recharged, and I'm getting regrouped here, and trying to figure out the best way to do a presentation to keep everybody interested and able to get the picture. We have to get pictures. Okay, we've got to see with the other side of the hemisphere. We got to bring both sides of the hemisphere of our brain together. You notice how the brain looks like it's divided with a line down the middle of it when it shows the picture of the brain? Well, it's to show that we're a divided creature, and we have to merge both hemispheres back together, and bring together what was the division into one, the one. Okay, the state of one. As if to say male and female come together and becomes one. Okay, so I gave you that word understanding, and you never want understanding. If you go into court and the judge says, do you understand the charges? Say, I don't know, I don't understand the charges. I don't understand anything. Actually, I don't know why am I here? What's the nature of the law? That's a good question to ask them. What is the nature of the law? Because they will not answer that question if you ask it, and half the time they'll throw out the case. If you challenge them and say, I want to know the nature of that law, because they're into word art and trickery, and they hate your guts. They're following the Babylonian Talmud, and they want to get you in prison so they can get your birth certificate on Wall Street, slave. And so you need to know who you are, where you are, when you are, and why you are, and the nature of words, because it all begins with words, and this is the maxim of law. It all begins with words, and it all ends with words. So whoever has the superior diction, what do they call it? Jurisdiction. So whoever has the superior diction wins. You got to know words. The shavor. Remember in the beginning is the shavor. We talked about that. And so I'll save the book review for the end, okay? Because I realized I moved forward here and I'm not backing up now. So I know that this one will be of interest to Star, because she's part traditional Native American, okay? And gee, I ought to make this one 2 parts, because this is quite a revelation for most people, and they don't know this. But I got a map. I got a picture of a map of the Americas that it was found in a big map book that came out of Scandinavia, and it was stolen. And then it ended up on an auction, and then it was found out, oh, wait a minute, this is the book that was stolen. And so yeah, diction, that's right, Star. And jurisdiction. That means the pure diction. If you got the pure diction, juris is pure. One element of juris is pure. The pure diction, and that's what we reveal here, right? That we reveal the art, the trickery of words, the art of words, the trickery that they pull over us. They started in school, right? They started when we were little, and they've done a work on us. So we got to back engineer the burning swords of fire. Okay, so before I go to the first word that I was going to do, I'm going to tell a little story here, because this book, when they opened up the book, they found out that there was a map in here of America way, way, way long time ago. We're talking maybe a couple thousand years ago, at least 1,000, because I'd have to go look at my notes again. I got the picture on my computer, my other computer. I couldn't give it to you, but one day I will. And just like I think Sundog, and she knows that D.C. used to be called New Rome, and Maryland and Virginia coming together right there. creates the Virgin Mary, and so all this occultic stuff going on. But there's a reason that they called the traditional Native Americans Indians, okay? And it's not because Columbus, made a wrong turn and went up to the northern hemisphere when India is in the southern hemisphere, okay? I mean, he'd be the laughing stock of all maritime history if he said he was looking for India, and he's up here in North America looking for India, which is in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so even the story doesn't fit. But the reason they had to use the story was to, create the new 500-year cycle of Francis Bacon's The New Atlantis, Americu, which means the feathered serpent, and it's also the phoenix, Quetzalcoatl's, feathered serpent, also known as the phoenix. So what America was called prior to America on this map was New India. New India. And then you could think of the Jesuit-run East India Trading Company out of Holland, the Dutch Royal East India, and also the West India companies. Okay, they were slave running. They were running slaves with the American flag. Okay, the American flag is a slave running flag. And so they're running slaves here to the Americas to do their work for them. Carry that load, slave. Put that bell on your back. Let's get marching down the trail, the Appalachian Trail. Slaves, they use slaves to carry their goods when they're walking down the trails. Okay, they don't carry the goods; they carry the gun. So New India, ladies and gentlemen, is what we've been denied the knowledge of, and this explains why the first traditional peoples of America were labeled as Indians. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here, because they were Indians by definition, according to the slavery ownership of India, the ancient Aryan Brahmin Hindu priesthood that I've been talking about on this broadcast, the Aryans, enslaving the world, okay? And they did it here. And then they changed the names. They do a switch out, and they take away the name New India, and they decide they're going to have a new phony, illusory world called America. And no longer will England be the whipping boy of the world, little island nation that supposedly conquered the world all under the illusion. And now it's America, that's going to be the whipping boy. And that's what we're doing, right? Whipping up, telling everybody how to walk and how to live. While, when they want to talk about weapons of mass destruction, tell me who's got weapons of mass destruction, right? Okay, we know who's got the weapons of mass destruction and been telling everybody else how to live. So that's where the name Indian came from, and it has nothing to do with the traditional people. And then and there's another term, but I'm going to pose a question to Star and see if she can give me this answer. Okay, so I'm sure because she's a part traditional Native American, then she probably knows that they call planet Earth Turtle Island. All right. So, but I have a question for you, Star. See if you know it. If the Earth is the Turtle Island, then what is the turtle? Okay, what is the turtle? So I'll see if you can answer, or anybody else can answer that. Okay, just type it in there. And but so now I already know the answer. So now let's talk about a misused term. I'm going to go down the list of misused words because we got to start using the correct terminology if we are enlightened creatures, right? So you've heard this word where they talk about people in other lands and they call them indigenous, the indigenous people. Notice the word India is right there. Indigenous. Okay, indigenous, India, right there. And but the truth is you don't want to use the word indigenous for anybody because it's a slam. And what it literally means is, Sundog, and you're traditional native as well? Patawamek? How about that? Congratulations. I'm split 4 ways: Irish, English, French, Canadian, and Belgian. But I always said from when I was a teenager, I got Native American in my heart. Okay, so I'm still there. I'm Desert Owl. I took on the spiritual metaphor, and even owls get a bad rap too, so go figure. But anyway, so indigenous literally means, get ready, the people without a God. The people without a God. So that's why you don't want to call anyone indigenous, because it's a slam on their spirit and on their culture. And notice that the word India, and you know how I take everything back to India, because that's where it belongs, with the ancient Aryan caste system and the slave running that conquered our world. Okay, the Aryans. So don't use indigenous. So the next one is education. Remember, you write this down if you want, but it's all being recorded, so you can go back. Then you can write it down and get your catalog. But the next one is education. And you know what? The truth is, you don't want an education anytime ever, because education does not mean what they told you. As in the first two words, the primary root of the Indo-Germanic Aramaic ed, opposite of ad as in addition, add, means to add something, right? But so ed, as in editor, means to remove something. So when you say I've got an education, that you're literally saying, well, I only know what they told me, and they took everything else away from me. So I don't know anything because they removed most of my curriculum, and everything else they taught me is propaganda. So none of it can be true. Okay, but so you don't want education. It's another word trick art. Okay, word trickery, and I don't even think I have language here, and that's another one. Boy, that's I'll save language for maybe I should do language here. Okay, I do have it. There it is. Okay, I'm coming up to it. So myth. Okay, so another misused word is myth. And by the way, I want to welcome our listeners. I see we have new people coming and going. So welcome to the Forbidden History series, Words That Kill, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Desert Owl, a bird who sees in the night. I'm looking for the proverbial blue pill. I can't find it, so I've just got to learn how to deal with knowing all this stuff. Okay, and it's not pretty. With most people, you can't have a regular conversation with anybody out there in the world. Only right here can I talk to all of you. You folks get it, okay? And I thank you so much for being here. So myth. So when we use the word mythology, myth, like we're saying it's false, but myth does not mean false. Instead of using myth, you want to say fallacy. It's a fallacy. Oh, and there's the guy again, right? The fallacy. Get the picture? Okay. Then you take it to the Washington Monument and the Egyptian obelisk. Okay, Lynn, thank you so much for stopping by. I know I started late. I hated starting later in the evening, but I had to, for a number of reasons. So yeah, you'll get the recording, and I'll be at it in the morning. I'm going to try for 8 a.m. every morning. See how that works. If I oversleep, I'll just be a little delayed, but I'm going to be shooting for 8 a.m. Okay, so sleep well, and thank you. So okay, so myth is not a conjecture for something that is false. Myth means your mythos, your mythology. It means like my story, our heritage. We have a story of where we come from, who we are, and that is our mythology. So what they did is they demonized the word. Mythology is about creation, about the metaphysics of life. And so fallacy means what is false. Myth is a true story of our origin. Okay, so now we're going to go into morals, and people like to say, you want to be moral, but you don't want to be moral. Okay, let me take another sip here. I know this is like, for anybody who's never heard this stuff before, it's blowing their mind, right? Because like that's what I said. If you don't know what you say, then you don't know what you think. Words are not what you think. Okay, you're thinking, you're trying to communicate, but you're not getting. You didn't know how to communicate. You were lied to. It's like everything was opposite. Like telling you up is down. Oh, when you say I love you, it means I hate you. And actually in the mind control program, they actually pre-program people that way to actually think these things. Hey, Ninja Cat, good to have you. And you're listening and driving the buggy. Okay, good deal. And where are you located? I think you're out there and across the big water, right? Aren't you in UK or was it? I think Ireland, one of those places. Anyway, so morals. Okay, you don't want morals. Even who wrote the book Pilgrim's Progress? Pilgrim's Progress. John Bunyan, right? Who went to prison for like a decade or so for writing the book Pilgrim's Progress. And he even said that when you went down the wrong road, some people went down the road of morals. They went down the road of morals. How could that be the wrong road? Wait a minute. Well, I thought morals, you want morals. No, you don't. You want ethics. Okay, Ninja, you're in Australia. Way to go. Okay. You're a neighbor of Sandgroper there then. Okay, so morals, you don't want morals, you want ethics. Ethics is of the ether, of the higher order of things, okay? The ether. And so where does this word morals come from? Well, there's a book written by the secret society banking faction of, international Freemasonry called Morals and Dogma, written by a southern general of the South during the War of the States, and Albert Pike. And in there, the book is called Morals and Dogma. Okay? And so you don't want morals and you don't want dogma. Because morals, as you can see, look at the word, 2 parts. More, all. More. I want more, and I want it all, and I'm coming for it, okay? You got it, I'm taking it. More and all. That's what they do, right, in the courtroom? Isn't that what they do in religion? Come on, put it in the pot, man. Give me all you got. They want more and they want it all. Hey, the more you give, the more you get. Come on, give me everything you got. More, all. You see, word trickery, isn't that word art right there? Isn't that putting you under the spell? You can't even spell. And then we can talk about the word gospel, because that's what it means. Go spell. Go spell. They're putting the joke in, because when they used to call it the evangelon. Then they changed it from the evangelon to gospel. And originally had 2 L's in it. So literally the word gospel was Gospell. Go spell. That's a joke. Okay? They know that they've got you so well under the spell and hypnotized that you will never see it unless Desert Owl points it out to you, unless you're lucky, unless you got the grace of the Father working for you. Because most people, they're too busy working as slaves from 9 to 5, and then taking a break on the weekend and watching a ball game in order to, ever figure this stuff out. Sandgropers and Jedi are laughing out. Everybody's laughing out loud. What's laughing? What's the joke? Oh, wait a minute. You're getting it, right? Okay. You're laughing with me, right? Okay. So, yeah, I've been doing this for too long, ladies and gentlemen, and I've stopped drinking the fluoride. Okay, I'm drinking distilled water. You got to do it. Godspell. Okay, that's another. But the God, you see, backwards is dog, and that's the other thing I was talking about, was the dogma, because the God is the Pope. That's a European term. It doesn't come from our Eastern tradition. We are following an Eastern tradition in Christianity, and it is the it is Yahweh, who people mispronounce as Yahweh, and okay, thank you. You're laughing with me. Thank you very much, and therefore, okay, where was I going with this? Let me take another sip. My head is spinning. Is your head spinning yet? I know we're having too much fun, aren't we? They're destroying our world. The world's over, and we're trying to unravel the mystery of how they lied to us. So God is the Pope, and then backwards is dog, because the dogs are the men who wear dresses. Okay, the men who wear dresses are the priests of the Vatican and other Anglican type, churches. The beast system, right? The beast system, and then the Freemasons, the Scottish Rite, they wear the kilts. Look at the word kilt. It's got the word kill in there. They're killing you, right, with the kilts. And the argyle, all those stripes on the kilts are the argyle. That means the power of beguiling. Argyle literally means the power of beguiling, okay, because they beguile us. And that's why they got the Scotch tape, right? The Scotch tape is transparent because you can see right through it. They're transparent. They're within all of society, okay? They're within all of society, and they're transparent, and they got the power of beguiling, and that's the argyle. The stripes, why? Because all crossroads are their roads. All the argyle stripes on the kilts cross each other because they claim all the crossroads as their crossroads, and it's the power of beguiling. And so they wear the dress of the woman. That's Lucifer. That's Lucifer, because Lucifer are the men who wear dresses. And then we have to include Islam, because that's why they wear those funny looking dresses, right? You see, they're all wearing the dress of the woman. And that's the dogs. that do the bidding. You know, the Islam was created by the Vatican, 600 AD. Just go listen to Eric John Phelps, Vatican Assassins, or who I used to interview on Wednesdays. He wrote the book Secret Terrorist. I'm gonna have to go get it. Hang on. I got it. I got it. Bill Hughes. Bill Hughes. Okay. Um, do a search. Okay, if you want the book Secret Terrorist, I'll give out Bill's phone number. How about that? You can call him, tell him I sent you. He don't have the internet. He travels the world doing speaking. Okay, Bill Hughes. Let's see here. Secret Terrorist. Where you at, Bill? Okay, his cell phone is 863-412-0522. It'll fit in your back pocket. It's a handbook, a short book, and it just goes right to the point on everything. 863-412-0522. And he's in Florida, and he's got two books: The Secret Terrorist and The Enemy Unmasked, and both of them will fit in your back pocket. And they sell for like $5 a book. You can get both of them for $10 and $2 shipping, $12. And go get it and then share it. He'll send you a quantity, give you a quantity discount to share with your friends. All right, and he does the all-time classic on the sinking of the Titanic. Hey, Liz, good to have you. New picture I see there. Good to have you. Okay. So morals and dogma. Okay, you don't want morals because it's about wanting everything, more and all, and so the dogma, in other words, dogma is, you know, two words, the mother's dogs, and so the priesthood are the mother's dog. Who's the mother? Lucifer, the blind goddess. In front of every courthouse, you got a woman with a blindfold on with balances in her hand. Do you want somebody giving you your payment wearing a blindfold? Well, they're saying, you know, she's blind justice, but it doesn't mean she's legitimate. It means she's blind. She's blind because she can't see. That way, when they railroad all of our friends into prison, you know, for some phony charges, they can't see. They're blind. They're following the Babylonian Talmud. The pay is good. You get paid pretty good. You'll be blind too. Okay? You know, give me $100,000 a year. I'll throw a bunch of people in prison. No problem. Yeah, secret handshake and all that. Hey there. Yeah, Liz, I see you did that. I can't. It's a tiny picture. I can't make it out. It looks like a sunset. Okay. So now the word language. Okay. Okay. Well, the language is really a code word for langraj, and langraj means Sundog is saying, you're right, Sundog, and she's got the dog there in her name. Well, it's okay. You know, it's like, you know, we know you can take control of your own diction. The important part is that you know the nature of the word, you know the nature of the game. It doesn't mean, you know, I mean, dogs, I mean, come on, it gives dogs a bad rap, right? Dogs are beautiful creatures, and then we got these wicked people running around wearing dresses and killing people and lying and stealing and cheating. You know, so let's not forget our lovely dogs, and realize that they're victims of this scheme too. So you know, so some things we just can't seem to get away from, Sundog, and don't sweat it. All right, hon? Anyway, so language is actually a form. Now there's a term called Noshatar associates, and what Noshatar associate means is the knowledge of association. And so when you're looking up a word in the dictionary, I'm giving you a clue here and a key how to do this work on your own, okay? Because you've got to learn how to read for yourself, see and read it for yourself, and to find the mysteries. There we go. Doggies in the sunshine. She takes care of dogs over there in D.C., in fact, right? So, yeah, she's very concerned about the bad rap for all these dogs. And there she's right near the Masonic Temple as well, in the Voodoo Central. Okay, so when you look at words in a dictionary above and below the word you're looking at, it's called the knowledge of association. And very typically, the word above and below, the word you're looking at will be relative. It could be relative to the word you're looking at, and will give you a better picture and idea of the words. And so literally, language is a admiralty term, and it's actually langraj. And what it is they put it in whenever they want to have a sneak attack on another ship, they take a cannon. Now, cannon is Canaan. Okay, there's Canaan, the redhead spotted, the fiery red hair. So they put it in the big gun, the big fire in the big gun, and they stuff the big gun, the cannon, with rope and lead balls tied to the rope, and glass and steel and nails, anything they can throw in the cannon, a bunch of garbage. That's the langrage. And then when they pull alongside another ship, then they blow the cannon out towards the other ship, and the rope will come out with all the lead, and it'll cut your head off if you're in the way. And then all that rope and that lead and all the garbage will wrap around the sails, so they can't lower their sails and escape, and they're dead in the water. And so if you get the picture, if they shot their langrage at you, which you call language, then you're dead in the water, and you can't go anywhere, because you don't know that words are not what you think. They gave you a vocabulary, but it doesn't mean what you say when you say what you mean. And you need to now reform and enlighten yourself as to the truth. I didn't say educate. You don't want to educate. You have to enlighten yourself as to the true nature of these shavors that we talk about, the original Indo-Germanic. Did you ever hear anybody but me talk about Indo-Germanic? Okay, right? The Indo-Germanic mother tongue. You're hearing it here first, I bet. Because this is the stuff they've hidden away from us. They wanted us to be stuck in the Hebrew and the Greek, and that's all controlled by the priesthood. So that we got to get past it. We got to get through the veil and back to the original. And the original is the Indo-Germanic Aramaic mother tongue that was breathed into Haddam 8,000 years ago approximate. Or maybe 10, but, give or take. And so, and they've changed all those numbers as well, too, There's nothing they haven't adulterated and touched. So there's your langrage. And so you put your garbage in the garage, the langrage, the garage. And then when you went to school, every time you went to the next grade, you graduated. They put more garbage in your head, and you graduated some more until finally, when you went to high school, you graduated, and then they put a mortarboard on your head. A Masonic mortarboard made you a square, and that Masonic mortarboard had a bunch of mud on top of it, so they could put the mud in your eye. And when you graduated, you got excited, and all you were showing is that you were educated and given a langrage that keeps you dead in the water with mud in your eye. You're wearing a Masonic mortarboard on your head. I'm so glad I dropped out of high school. I was smart enough to know these people didn't like me, and I wanted to get on with my enlightenment. So you get the picture, ladies and gentlemen, right? You're getting it rapid fire here. And that's what we do on the Forbidden History, because time is short. And but knowing the truth is sweet. I've always had the saying, I don't care how bad it is, just tell me go ahead and tell me what's going on, and then I'll learn how to deal with it. Right? That's all. But if we're not informed, if we don't have the correct information, what is true, what is correct, what is complete, and instead everything that we have is misleading, how are we ever going to unravel it? We're supposed to be part of an enlightenment. Yeshua came to enlighten us. Ninja Cat dropped out too. Another smart individual right there. Okay. And that figures. See, all people of like minds all hang out together here. So, okay, so now let's get down to money. And there is no money. Okay, money is an illusion. They use the birth certificate to monetize the Federal Reserve notes, or all the funny money around the world, backed by your birth certificate. When you're born, your birth certificate goes to the Department of Commerce, puts $1 million or more into circulation. It's estimated that's what you'll make in a lifetime. And then, so it's really your labor slave that they wanted. They wanted your labor. And so you gave it to them, you're working, and you're part of the system, the beast system. Okay? You are a part of the beast system, are you not? If the mark of the beast ever was the funny money, what do they call it in Germany? They call it the mark. The mark, right? It's the mark. So it's okay. You see, Yeshua know they were going to play these tricks on us. It doesn't mean you can't serve the great Father of Light with your mind and with your heart and with your body. But they're playing a trick on you. Now you know the truth. Now you know they're not getting away with it anymore. You're just letting them have a little rope to play their game, and then you figure out how I can get out of the commerce racket. But it says in our scriptures, Are you a slave? Then don't seek to be free. Are you free? Then don't seek to be a slave. So with whatever state you're in, you can still serve the great Father of light. Okay? Cobber Petey looks nice. What is Cobber Petey? Cobber Petty? That must be Australian. Sorry about that, Sangroper. You can give me the definition. Anyway, so there is no money. I'm not, and the note is a promise to pay. We talked about the Federal Reserve note, but there is no payment. You don't ever get gold or silver for the note. So it's a lie on its face. And if you want more on the money, just go to program number 3 on uncommon awareness at the top of all of my programs. Just number 3 and number 4, and you'll learn about the funny money right there. Okay. So federal. Let me take another sip. Federal is misunderstood because the Fed is the Federal Reserve Bank, and so the Fed is in control. They're in the receivership, the bankruptcy. Mid-South Australia. Okay, gotcha. I think. Anyway, so Fed. Like people are saying, we have a federal government. No, we had a national government. The Fed took over, and the word "fey" is in the word "Fed." Okay, so it's a mythological word. I got you, Ninja. Haven't been there either. Okay, so federal. So the Fey is the female goddess right there, also aka Lucifer, in the word the Fey. Fey Dora, and then what's interesting, like you look at the word FEMA, right? FEMA is gonna come here and take care of us. Well, just like the mommy, right? And what is FEMA? It's female, right? So they put the female feminization on on the corporation that they're going to use to take care of us. Our mommy's taking care of us, and she's a female, FEMA, and so just like federal is Fey, the woman. Okay, so that's why it is based on feminine aspects and embracing the matriarchy instead of the patriarchy, because Yeshua introduced us to the patriarchy and the father, and therefore the male is dominant in that aspect, that he's the one who's supposed to be the protector and the defender of the family, and also to go out and get the truth and bring it home with the bacon. And but it doesn't seem like the man is doing his job today, and that's there's some good ones out there though. That's good news. There are some wonderful people come to the front line. A lot of them have come and gone already. They've taken them out, put them in prison, or shot them on the side of the road. I can tell you a lot of stories, and they're trying to take me out. So words are not what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. Okay, so name versus title. Hey, and by the way, if you have a comment or a question, 608-566-7295. 608-566-7295. You know, you never call. That's the problem. Love to hear from you. And my friends and listeners have always been the smartest people on the planet, but they're just always a little reserved about talking for some reason. I don't get it. So okay, so back to it. Okay, name versus title. So you don't want a name, because a name in Black's Law Dictionary, it says that a name is a corporation. Okay, and not only that, but if you look at the symbol, the N at the beginning, it's sliding down. It's a sliding board coming down to the bottom, and that's what it implies. It's down in the very bottom, and so a name is in the dirt. And so what do they say in England, right? When you got these people that own the castles, and do they sell their names, or do they sell their titles? They sell their titles. They have a title. A title is at the top. So the title. Listen to the word. The title is tittle. The tittle, just like the Grand Tetons. The top. It's the title is implying the point. That's what it means. It means the point. The title, that which ties everything together. It's at the top. And so they reversed everything, and they got us a name. And if you got a name, you're a slave, because you're supposed to have a title. Yeshua doesn't have a name. You know, in our scriptures, it says the name, if you do all things in the name of Jesus, right? Do all things in the name. No, I don't do anything in the name. Okay, I do it in the royal title, of my Redeemer, Yeshua the Moshiach. Okay? He has a royal title. He is at the point of all things. Get the picture, ladies and gentlemen. And so then we can show. I'm going to show some examples now how they did switch outs in our scriptures. Okay. So the word angel. When I was amazed when I looked in the Middle English dictionary. Middle English is the period, say, around when John of Wycliffe did the first English translation of the Bible, 1382, and then moving forward up to like the 1700s. That's Middle English, okay? And so if you look in the Middle English dictionary under angel, it'll say, see the English, look for English. And so I know I'm missing a word here. Let's see if I can find it. And so with that, and then I pulled out the Latin dictionary, and in the Latin dictionary, it said in the back of the book, under angel, it said to see English. Oh, okay. So see English. What's going on here? Angel is English, and the root form of that is Anglo. Okay, the Anglo-Saxon. I had my note on a card. I don't know what happened to my card. It's gone. Here it is. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, very good. So literally angel is Anglo. It's just another form of the same word. And so you can hear the word glow, as in a light bulb glows, or the light glows, and ang as an angle, like a chevron, like the number 7. So all of these aspects are there. But literally when you look under like Anglo-British, Anglo-French, Anglo-German, or whatever, it means English. English-British, English-French, English-German, okay? And the German, the royal family are Germans, okay? And they're English. So they're Anglo-German, the Queen of England, and and so they're Nazis, unannounced Nazis. They didn't want anybody to know that, okay? But you got to hear. And so Anglo, so literally means the true sons of the one virgin light, okay? So they're claiming their Aryan root as having been the original watchers, the Vekoresh, the ones who ruled the world, enslaved the world. That's what they're doing, are they not? Playing the trick, the royal families, are they not playing a trick on everybody with the name game and the shell game and the criminal racket, the drug dealing, everything that they do? Right? They're the angels. They're the angels because we had a different word in our scriptures. We had a different word in our scriptures. And they took away the word Malek, and they gave us the word angel. And when they put the word angel in our scriptures, they put themselves in our scriptures, just like the word Jew is nowhere in our scriptures. Nowhere. The word Jew didn't come into existence until 1,000 years ago. How'd the word Jew get? They even now take it all the way back to the Exodus out of Egypt. And it's not Egypt, it's Mitzrayim. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, they've taken over the very bedrock of what we rely on to transcend our nature and our being. Stand over the merchants. That's right. The merchants want to stand over us. They've turned us into chattel property. We're being sold on Wall Street. Slaves, they used to sell bodies on Wall Street. Now they sell your birth certificate. So, okay, so get the picture. I can't do a deep study on all these words because, I've got a ways to go here. But I'm trying to give you a broad view. I wanted to reopen the series again, after being off for a week, with a real perspective on the criminal nature of what they've done. Would you want your babies to be lied to? Well, you were a baby once, right? You were lied to. My parents didn't give a flip. Forgive the French, okay? They didn't care. They're so busy in their own personal lives, they could care less what was happening in my life. But I don't want my little ones, and I homeschooled, all right? I homeschooled so that mine would get the truth. And that's why I ended up with 2,000 books on the shelf. So So we got to have truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's the only way to get back home. The only way. So let's keep on heading home, all right? I can do more on Anglo-Saxon, but, you know, unless you call in and ask me about it, I'm not going to read any more of this on that one. Because, oh, I'm going to, one more. Okay, oh, I got it. Because Anglo-Saxon, when I looked up, you know, in the Oxford, Saxons is season. The S-E-A apostrophe Z-E-N. It's a code. Saxon is a code for the seasons, meaning, so Anglo-Saxons is really the angel season. Season, it sounds like the, you know, the seasons of the year, right? But it's spelled S-E-A apostrophe Z-E-N. And what it literally means is to fly upon the highest waves. And so what they're claiming is to be, you know, part of the merchant class on the Admiralty, okay, on the high seas. And Sandgroper is saying, stand over to merchants. Well, we're exposing the merchants. They were merchants, slave runners, and worked on the high seas, like it says in a book I read a long time ago. I don't remember where it was now, but I never forgot the quote. It said that all the people of the world wanted to claim the land, but there was one group who wanted to claim the sea. And the ones who claimed the sea have dominated our world. Thank you, Ninja Cat. I love the truth. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. And so they claimed the sea, ladies and gentlemen. Those were the Phoenicians. Those were the merchants. That's why in the Middle English Dictionary, the word craft means treason. Okay, craft means treason. And you know who the craft is, don't you? Those crafty people who running our courtrooms today and destroying lives. So, yeah, we're in trouble. That's right. We're in trouble. Continuing, okay, Jew, the word Jew. Oh, that nefarious word that dare anybody breathe it, right? Well, I just want to say for the record, I got friends who, you know, are from the Jewish bloodlines, and they're some of the best people I know. Not all Jewish people are a part of a conspiracy to destroy life on earth. They're just like there's Catholics and Christians within the conspiracy. Then, you know, we have Jewish banking, but most of the Jews in Germany that were killed were victims also of the Ashkenazi. Okay, and we're going to talk about Ashkenazi here in a minute. The Sephardic, it looks to me, from what I can tell, that the Ashkenazi pushed all the Sephardic, the last remnant, if there was one, of original Israel into the prison camps. And those were the ones that were annihilated, okay, and enslaved. So the research is out there. You have to do it for yourself. I planted a seed. You can check it out. But it's okay. So the word Jew, it apparently, you know, only goes back to, you know, not even 1611. Actually, 1730. The first time the word Jew was used in 1730. Okay, that's what, just 17, 15, 19, 300 years, not even 300 years ago. That's the first time the word Jew. But in France, the word was Giwis, G-I-W-I-S, G-I-W, Jewish, like Jewish, G-I-W-I-S. And it was the first time it was used when the Norman Franks took over England in 1066, and they were backed by the Jewish, G-I-W-I-S, now today as Jews, backed William the Conqueror, who invaded England. Okay, so that's the first official record of the Jews conquering England. Okay, interesting that the Jesuits are big in France as well, and that's where we got Napoleon. But so the word never occurred until 1730, and yet in the scriptures they put the word Jew in there, and take the scriptures all the way back to 1500 BC. So even though the word Jew only goes back less than 300 years, they have literally taken it back over 3,000 years. 3,000. Okay? Get the picture, ladies and gentlemen. Get the picture. It's the greatest show on earth. The greatest scam that has occurred, because they control publishing, they control religion, they control television, they control the media, the news, they control your thinking, and therefore it's virtually impossible for anybody to ever figure out this racket, the shell game that they played. And it's only, because of the anointing the Father gave me, I know it. Because I'm not smart enough. Not smart enough to be able to figure this shell game out. He anointed me when I climbed that mountain you see on the picture there. I climbed to the top of Mount Whitney. I came down and was transformed in my ability to see, and I saw into the words. And then I saw into the symbols of the letters, and I could interpret the symbolic nature. That's why they don't want you looking at the A, B, C, D on your driver's license. They want you looking at the Hebrew. Who in their right mind would ever want to learn Hebrew? It never was a part of, the Syrians. It never was a part of the followers of Yeshua. Other than the three Levitical scribes, Matthew, James, and John, they were Levitical scribes. Okay? But all the followers of Yeshua spoke Aramaic and Syriac and could not read Hebrew, could not, and had no interest in it. Wouldn't want to learn Hebrew. Why? It belonged to the priesthood and the wealthy. It was a secret code. That's what Sefer means. The word book in the Hebrew is Sefer. That means code. That's cipher. All right? Are we having fun yet? I hope we are. They're coming for me, but they're coming for you too, ladies and gentlemen, right? They're coming for all of us. So the more we know, the more we can see the nature of the game, the more connected we can feel to the great light of our Father. This is not our world. It's a shell game. It's a racket. And they are racketeers. Continuing. So Jew, so they use the word Jew in place of, now remember, even the letter J did not exist up until about 250 years ago. Okay? So they cleverly used the word Jew to supplement Judean. Okay? Judean. That's with the Y. And the W is a corruption. It's really Y-O-O-D-E-A-N, Judean. The two O's together symbolize the sun and moon, primarily. In fact, just like in our King James, it says the Alpha and Omega, which that's Greek. Actually, it should say, if it's English, the Alpha and the Z. Letter Z is the last letter of our alphabet, but it says Alpha and Omega. That he's still using the Greek. But yet, if you go to John of Wycliffe's first English Bible, 1382, handwritten by the Lollards, in the first English Bible done in Oxford by John of Wycliffe, 1382, in there in Revelations it says, I am the Alpha and the O. The two O's right there. And the two O's also stand for the owl. Woo. Okay? Woo-hoo. The two O's. And so now, if you put all the pieces together, the Z, the tau in the Aramaic, and the alpha, look at that letter alpha. You can tell it's a little picture of an owl. It's got 2 feet, and it goes up and around, right? It's now put the 2 O's right in the middle. It's the 2 eyes of the owl. But literally, it would be, if you put all the letters together, that's how they did it. They used different parts of the letters throughout different parts of time, totally switching out. But when I realized that if you put them all together, you literally got Zumega. Zumega, what does it mean? To come to the end of the alphabet, meaning to become enlightened. Zomega, meaning you now know about everything within the universe, how it operates, how the game is played, whether it's about the beautiful creation made by Yahweh and Yeshua, the one who made all things, who can reveal all things. It is the Zumega. What does Zoo mean? Well, you want to go look at all the animals of the world, you go to the zoo. So zoo means everything. Zumega, what does mega mean? Everything. So you see, it's a mystic code, and it's telling a story. Telling a story. And okay, so now I took some notes here before the program. I was watching a documentary, and it was giving me a little bit more of the meat here. Okay? Because as we really know, that those who call themselves Jews today are actually not really Israel. And as I proved out on the last several programs I did, that Israel was actually destroyed. in 730 BC. They were banished from Syria, and they sent in foreigners from Babylon and Nineveh and other parts of Mesopotamia into Syria, and then taught them the culture of Israel through the priesthood. And they were surplanters, which was telling us a prediction about the future, that a people would come into the region of Syria and would pretend to be Israel, who are not Israel, and those are who people are calling themselves Jews today, who run our news media, run banking, and run the politicians, seem to run it all. But yet they are actually Ashkenazi. There's the word Nazi right there. And also known as Khazarian. There's Aryan. There's the Tsar for like Kaiser, Caesar, the star. They claim to be stars. Oh, well, they're out there on Hollywood Walk of Fame then, aren't they? That's right. Most of the actors are Jews, aren't they? They change it like Mitchum, right? That wonderful actor we saw, Robert Mitchum. You know, he changed his name. They're Ashkenazi. The Ashkenazis founded Hollywood. Okay? So I just learned tonight that Ashkenaz actually was the medieval Yiddish name for German. Woo! How about that? Let me say it again. Ashkenaz was actually the medieval Yiddish name for German. And by the way, there is no Hebrew. Everything you see is Yiddish. Okay? With what we call Hebrew, it's Yiddish. Okay? And it has nothing to do with Israel. It's gone. Israel is gone. Gone. For 2,730 years, Israel has been gone, and it is no more. It is the grand illusion. And we were told when they put the foreigners in Syria and taught them the traditions of Israel, that there would be a supplanter in the future that would pretend to be Israel. Just like it says in Revelations, but they took out the word Israel and they put in the word Jew. And so they said there would be people calling themselves Jews who were not Jews, but that's not it. They took out the word Israel. And what it really would be saying in Revelations, if we had the original, it would be saying there are people who are calling themselves Israel who are not Israel. Get the picture, ladies and gentlemen. Do your study. See and read it for yourself. Realize the game that has been played. We have no original documents. They're controlling the ball. And you've got to be set free and see and read it for yourself and get the picture. Okay? So German. So what does German mean? Well, literally means germ. What is a germ? It's the seed. It's the seed. And so German is a code that means literally seed of the moon. Well, then that means they're the sons of darkness. Seed of the moon is sons of darkness because, you know, in Germany, they don't call themselves Germans. They don't call themselves Germans. They call themselves Deutschland, the Deutsch. Just like in Scandinavia, the Dutch. There's another version of them. Deutschland. So literally, we have what we have in Germany then is a dual society. Ninja Cat saying, I have to go. This is fascinating and true. We'll finish listening later. Thank you, Desert. Much love, room, and hugs. Hey, thank you, Ninja. Good to have you. Hopefully we can talk on Skype one day. You call in and tell us what's going on down there in your neck of the woods, you know. And but thank you for stopping by and for your kind thoughts and words. All right, and be well. And so what we ended up having in what we call Germany is a dual society. We've got the regular Aryans, who are the Teutonic Knights, the Anglo-Saxons, and the Jutes. And I think I know who those Jutes were. I got to do a little more homework on that one. But that's what it sounds like. What does Jutes sound like? Especially if the T is silent. Oh my goodness. Go put two and two together, all right? So even though it's called Jutland, well, they were pushed off in a certain area, you know. But we have a double society. We've got those who are the Ashkenazis, and then we have those who are the Anglo-Saxons, and so it's a conglomeration. It's a Teutonic knighthood that was there. It's secret societies. It is royal, regal, Illuminated, Gnostic, nobles, all interrelated. You know, all of the noble families of Europe were all interrelated. The Scandinavians, the French, the English, the German, the Russian, you name it, all cousins and brothers, while they put all of us on the front line, all of our relations from the past on the front line in Europe. There was no enemy because they were all related, but they changed the names and the dialect that each of them was speaking and made everybody look different, wore different clothing, called themselves by a different title, you know, French and German and Scandinavian, and all of a sudden they got everybody to think that we're enemies of each other, and they got us fighting each other and dying on the battlefield so they can wage war, you know, like who was it? Montesquieu in France in the 1700s, in the book called The Spirit of the Law, said that all for the last 2,000 years, all of the wars that have occurred have done nothing other than to serve as depopulation programs for one another's nation. Depopulation programs, isn't it true? They lied to us about every war. We know how Roosevelt allowed the attack by Pearl Harbor, right, by Japan. He knew it was coming. It was in the newspaper the weekend before. Do you think that Hawaii will be attacked by Japan this next week? You know, it was right there. And the evidence said it was a scam, and Japan was in on the deal, that this was a one world order scheme. If Japan would come over and bomb all those ships and kill 2,000 plus Americans, let me ask you a good question. Why didn't they bomb the oil tanks? Okay, all the oil tanks. You know, those giant round containers that are that are bigger than a house, that are hold all the oil and the petrochemicals and the diesel and what have you, all the fuel. How come the Japanese didn't bomb the fuel supply of the American Navy fleet? Because if they wanted to shut down the American Navy fleet, all they would have had to have done was to destroy the fuel supply in Hawaii. And they didn't. And that's evidence that it was a grand conspiracy against the people of the world. Because for every war they waged, they get closer to dominating and controlling all of our lives. The ultimate shell game, ladies and gentlemen. Aren't you sick of it? Aren't you just sick? And so Egypt is Mitzrayim. I've got that on another program. You know, just go back, listen to the beginning, start with the premier program, and you'll hear about Mitzrayim. I did a presentation on that. Egypt, the word Egypt is only 350 years old. Started with 1611. Okay, when they were controlling our scriptures, they had to take the word Mitzrayim out because it tells a story. And I already told the story, so go back and listen and work your way forward, and you'll find it. Okay. You know, there's a lot of work to broadcasting and doing a production, and I've been on reserves quite a bit. You know, I'm under persecution right now. You know, I'm a targeted individual myself, and there's people who'd love to take me out, and I think you can figure that one out, right? And so I'm not here to get into that, or I'm not asking for sympathy. I do welcome your prayers, but they've worked overtime to lie to us, ladies and gentlemen, and to control our thinking, and they hate our guts. And so the wars, you got it, Jedi. War is sick, and so they have they predicted all the three wars: World War I, World War II, and this last one, in the book Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike, the Grand Poobah of International Freemasonry. And so so they said they would use Islam in the last World War to destroy all of Christianity, and don't we see it happening? They're bringing in all the African people, the Islamic Africans that have no interest in European culture or Australian culture or American culture or New Zealand culture. Okay, Liz, I think you're saying goodnight. I know it's late. It's late where you are, so you have a good night. Okay, peace and love. And so yeah, they've infiltrated them to destroy our culture, ladies and gentlemen. It's here. It's on. The war is on. The war is against your mind. The war is on to slaughter your families. one way or another, either with the war with drugs, the war on drugs, the war with vaccinations, the war of culture. You know, the this war, that war. Oh, Homeland Security has what, 300 billion rounds of ammunition now, hollow point ammunition. It's on record. They've ordered and they've already got 3 billion rounds of ammunition of hollow point. Even in warfare, ladies and gentlemen, they don't use hollow points. They don't use hollow points in warfare, but they got hollow points, homeland insecurity, right? Homeland insecurity, because they are insecure. They don't want you to know the truth, and they got the last wave will be make sure they blow you away with their hollow points, because you won't recover from a hollow point shot. Okay, if you get shot in the abdomen or in the body. So continuing here. Hey, I've got to. No, I'm good. I'm still good right now. Let's see here. Where are we at? Okay, so now we're on the word bless. We're going into religious terms, and I guess I should have got to the word righteousness sooner. I bet you Sundoggin's not here anymore, so she's not going to know where to find the definition on this. I may have to wait. Sundoggin, are you still there? Let me know, and I'll do righteousness. After all, I may save it for next time you're on, or I'll go ahead and do it, and then we can. Was it righteous? No, she wanted hallelujah. That's right, she wanted hallelujah. Okay, so anyway, with bless, okay, bless means blast, okay, because the original word, they took away the original word, just like they did with angel, and they took away Malik. Malik means royal messenger, right? We're the royal messengers. If we serve Yeshua, he's our redeemer. He's our tree of knowledge. He's our sovereign. He's our sovereign ruler. He's the one who wants to save us. So he's the royal Malik. He's the great Elohim. So we don't want to use the word bless, because it's a code word for blast. If I say bless you, I just said blast you. Blast you. You see, just like the word langraj. It means language, but it's langraj, and it means they shot a cannon at you and you're dead in the water. So the word bless is blast. So we want the original words, because the original words have meanings. Oh, okay, very good. You're still with us, Liz. Okay, gotcha. Anyway, I want to welcome any new listeners we have, and hope you're sitting down when you're listening to all this. I know, because the mind control is great, and and it's an axiom that says it's easier to lie to people than it is to convince them that they've been lied to. Okay, we've all been lied to. I was lied to all my life. I hated it. Hated to think that how I've been lied to, deceived, and my parents didn't care. They were lied to also. It wasn't like it was their fault. They were lied to by the governments as well, and then their parents were lied to, and they were all dummies, all of them. Some of you may have some pretty good parents. I hope you did, but I'm telling you, mine were just bought right into the system, and we're like good automatons. Please show me what line to get in, okay? And so I can't get over it. And that's New Jersey, okay? Central Jersey, the melting pot of America, all different cultures blended together. It was great for restaurants. I loved the Chinese food, the Italian food, the pizzerias and everything else we had there. But I'm telling you, they homogenized our society on purpose. Absolutely, we've got no real identity. Oh, our identifying culture is McDonald's, right? There's our culture right there, McDonald's. Yeah, okay. And so anyway, so bless, we want the original word. It's Baruch. Baruch. So I don't say bless you. I say, may the Baruchim of the great Father of light be upon you. And what is the Baruchim? Baruchim means the endowment and the light. The endowment and the light, okay? Okay. And so I got a question here, it looks like. We got a new listener, Michelle Barr. Good to have you. And what do you believe is the original language prior to the Tower of Babel? Right. Well, there are misconceptions about the Tower of Babel, Michelle, without getting into it. But let's keep it simple. Basically, we are today, whether you're speaking English or German or French or Scandinavian or Portuguese or Latin or Greek or Hebrew, okay, all of them are Aramaic. All of them are the Indo-Germanic mother tongue, and that includes what they call Sanskrit, but it's pseudo-Sanskrit, because the true Sanskrit is the all capital letters on your driver's license. The capital, what we call Phoenician alphabet, capital letters, is the original Aramaic alphabet that is perfected through the Kabbalists. But so we go back to the more primitive Aramaic script. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look the same, because they were also making it into a code back then, because the Phoenicians were still controlling the script, and then it went over to Greece. Okay, and so if you look at the walls on the Greek monuments, you'll see the all capital letters that are on your driver's license, with just other slight variations. Okay, but then look at what they did with the Greek. You were taught Sanskrit. Wow, love to talk to you one day. You have to call us on the phone here and give us some insight. I'd like to know more about your background. And Teresa, Shauna, Skuna, forgive me for mispronouncing your name. What time did he start? He just got here. Oh, well, we've been on now for 1 hour and 51 minutes. Okay, but you can get the recording. So good to have you. Welcome to our new listeners. So. Okay, so basically, there's more that can be said about the Tower of Babel. I don't want to do that today because my voice is running down, and I got some words I got to go through yet. Okay, but bottom line is that all the European tongues, and that's the correct word, is tongue. Okay, and tongue, Tongue. Notice it's a funny looking word, funny spelling, right? It's because it's really two words. It's a code, and tongue. Meaning, the thing that's in your mouth, your tongue, it's tone key. And so the original word for the original thought is tone key. And so what I do, Michelle, is with my transliteration project called the original thought, is we have a common root within all of our diction. And so whatever European tongue you're talking about all goes back to a common root. Okay? And that's what I call the original thought. Okay, the original thought, and we have to go back to the original, because that means we're piercing the veil of the Hebrew, which is really Yiddish, and we're passing the Greek, which they made into a code, and we're going back to the Indo-Germanic mother tongue, which is the original Aramaic. The Archai-Malic, or Aramaic, is a corruption. It's the Archai-Malic. You hear the word archive as an archive? Like, okay, you put in your archives all your important documents, right? And then the Malic, there's the word royal messenger. What I was just talking about when they supplanted it with the word angel, because they don't want us to get the picture. They don't want us to know these words. And so Aramaic is the Archai-Malic. It is the archive of the royal messenger, and therefore the royal message. And that's what I'm talking about. The royal message that was breathed into Adam when Yahweh came down and breathed into his nostrils the gnosis about life. Okay, I'm not able to interpret that statement you made, Michelle, without a little elaboration. So this is where, if you can call in, okay, the call-in number is 608-566-7295. 608-566-7295, or if you Skype, Free America Radio, all one word, Free America Radio. It still says I'm in Kingsland, Georgia, but I'm in Central Ohio. Okay, so I can't begin to comment on a few words there I'm not even familiar with. Okay, so love to have you on the call anytime, or call me after. We can talk privately as well. I'm always willing to talk privately with anybody to help them out, or to compare notes, that type of thing. All righty. So continuing on in the word righteousness, obvious code word. Come on, tell me, look at that word righteousness and tell me, like you do go to work and you tell your boss, hey boss, isn't this a righteous project I got going here? We don't use the word righteousness, and it's a code. And what it really means is the perfection of light. And so righteousness is to cover up what the occult do, right? They like to hide the light. Okay, so righteousness means the perfection of light. And so when you read your scriptures, you can just transliterate right there and use the word perfection of light. Okay, Lord God is In the Old Covenant is to supplement, Lord is Yahweh, which most people pronounce Yahweh, and God is Elohim. Okay, so literally it's an expression. It's actually an expression between these two words. And it is, you would, in other words, when we read in our scriptures, Lord God, it would be more like this. It would be Yahweh, who is the great Elohim. Elohim. Yahweh, who is the great Elohim. Okay? And that's the identifying expression, because Yeshua is the one who has all authority, and therefore he is the Father. He is Yahweh, for Yahweh, because the great spirit of all the cosmos is so great that he is beyond the cosmos itself. And therefore Yeshua has all authority. He is the first made. He is Yahweh, and he is the great Elohim. Okay, but they gave us God, Lord God. So I know it's hard for you, most of you, to wrap your minds around these other terms, Yahweh, who is the great Elohim, because we've never heard them before. We've never heard them before. Okay, and so that's the enigma. They removed our original words. Okay, we're hearing them in our latter years for the first time, and so okay, I've got a question on the word hallelujah from Sundoggin, and I'm going to do it, but I've got to take a 2-minute break. Okay, so let me do that. I'm going to go to a song here, play some music, and I will be right back. Okay, with all of you. I want to welcome all of our new listeners. You're tuned in right here to the realpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network, and the Forbidden History series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. And I'm your host, Desert Owl. Glad you tuned in. Hope you're telling your friends about the broadcast. And it's good to be back on. Took a week off. We're just ramping up. We're here for till the time they pull the plug, and we're going to spill the beans, okay, and reveal the true nature of the words, which is shavors. In the beginning is the shavor. And if you missed that, that's on an earlier broadcast. You just have to start listening to the series. So don't go away. I'll be right back. You did tell your friends, right? Thanks for doing that.
Waves are coming in. Waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence.
right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Forbidden History series, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. And I intend to be doing our morning broadcast as well because we have so much ground to cover. And I want to continue on in the series in the mornings called The History of the Church and the Original Gospel morning read, okay? And that'll be at, I'm going to try to do that at 8 a.m. every morning, Eastern Time, Pacific, Atlantic Coast time for those of you in other parts of the world. The Atlantic side, okay, that's Eastern time, New York time, okay, and we'll touch on symbols and words real quick as well. I want to try to keep the morning one, short as much as possible, not to do too big productions. But the problem is we got so much ground to cover, and I know a lot of you wonderful people, you haven't had the chance to read a lot of the stuff that I've been privy to, and I want to unload it on you. And so just like I've got the two Babylons here in front of me I wanted to talk about, I've got about a couple words left, okay, and I wanted to do a special on words, so we're doing it, okay, and I'm just so grateful that so many great wonderful people have come by, say hello, and I've known a number of you now for a while, and Jedi, I've known her for 15 years, I think now, something like that. So got some new friends and old friends, and we're here to talk, okay? And that means you can talk too, because I really, the thing is, I can listen to myself regurgitate things I've been learning all my life and sharing them with you. But if you have something specifically you're attempting to know, you want to learn, you've been trying to figure out, like you couldn't wrap your mind, okay, what's this all about? You can call in because, I'm a pretty deep study. I've been doing this a long time. And therefore, as a researcher, former political activist with two organizations, I've been doing radio broadcasts for off and on for 30 years. I've interviewed, hundreds of people. I've interviewed victims of mind control, targeted individuals, the great researchers. Anybody with a book, I'd call them and say, hey, I've got a radio broadcast. I'd like to interview you. Boom, I got them. Okay. Imagine being able to interview people, anybody you want to, because you got a radio broadcast and you get the oral version. You get to ask any question you want. Okay. So I'm here to help. That's this whole objective here is to help you figure out what you are still trying to figure out, because time is short. Okay. So very good. And, okay, Michelle says she cannot call in. Okay, not a problem, Michelle. But if you put up a question, put it up in the word question in all capital letters, and I'll get it. Okay, or if you have a request, put the word in all capital letters, then upper and lower case on your question. But that'll help me see it because I'm not reading the board. It's hard to read all that stuff on there. You know what I mean? All right, and I'm wearing down. Okay, so we're winding down the program here. Hallelujah. And this is what Sundoggin wanted me to talk about, so it's at the 2-hour point. I can let her know it's at the 2-hour point. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So it's an interesting word, hallelujah, because the word ha could be the word the, right? And so, but the H by itself is also the word the. It's the prime root. And so hallelujah. And J-A-H at the end is a corruption. It's Yal, Y-A-H-L-L. So it's like the whole word is made up of vowels. It's like this. It's ha, ah, L, U, Yal. Literally, there's no restriction in what I just said there. So it's sort of like a mystical word, and it's using the vowels in the sound. And in other words, what I have called the vowels over the decades now, as I come to realize what they really represent, is that they are what I call, and what they are the seeds of light. Because remember, the words originally were built with consonants. So the word Moses in the scripture would be MSH. Okay, that's Moses, MSH. And then what you would do, you would add the vowels, and then you would get Moshe'el. Moshe'el. Okay? So that's the parent root is MSH. And so Ha-E-U-Yah, Ha, the breath, the great breath that breathed, and then the seeds of light were planted. Al, for the Father, El for the mother, mother, father are one. Male, female is co-joined in the great breath of the wind and fire, the Holy Spirit. They are one, but we recognize the male being dominant. Therefore, we regard the spirit as father. And Ha'ul, the Ul is the owl. The Ul for the vision, to be able to see with these seeds of light. Ha'ul Yah, Yah, Y-A-H-L-L, that which goes round. What goes round? Sun and moon. But the earth is spinning. The sun and moon are just in a ballet with the earth while it spins. Okay, in the great mystery. Okay, and it is a mystery. So Ha'eluyah, according to the root forms, these parent roots, it means the enlightened eye. The enlightened eye that goes round. So in other words, when we see it at the end of a textual material, at the end of a chapter, whenever we see the word being used, ha'e'uyah, ha'e'uyah, no restriction, a power word by its nature, totally unique. You are supposed to be the enlightened eye that goes round. We represent the cosmic wheel. That which is great is like that which is least, and that which is least is like that which is great. And so the enlightened eye that goes around implies the sun, and it implies you. You are supposed to be enlightened, and an eye that has eyes to see, an eye for seeing. And so just we're winding down here. 4 more words. No, 5 more words. Real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Fast. So when we talk about not eating food, I like this one. This is a good trick, because those wicked priests, they never like to go without eating, like you think when they're having a party, they want to take time out to fast when they know they're in a cult ritual and they're a bunch of liars and they're drinking blood and raping and murdering children and having sacrifices. So what do they call when you go without food, right? The correct term would be the abstinence, to abstain from eating. But what do they call it? They call it fasting. Oh, fast. Oh, you mean because you want me to? Let's get done with it as quick as we can, right? Let's go fast. Okay. Oh, LC Mays, good to have you. You're never too late, dear friend, and everything's recorded, so you'll be able to listen from the beginning. And it's a little rough coming in the middle because you're like saying, okay, what's Desert talking about? Where's he getting this stuff? Okay, but you just got to backwind it, and then you'll get the picture. Okay, you got to start at the beginning. So this thing about fasting, okay, like let's get it done as soon as we can. Okay, can we go without 1 meal, not 10? So what's the word? What's going on? Why do they want to get it done fast? Think about it. Because what happens if you're fasting and you know about fasting, then you know what happens, right? When you go without food, what happens? Everything slows down, right? It's like all of a sudden an hour is longer, a day is longer, and if you're going to go 10 days without food, that time stretches out because you're slowing down. Your body is slowing down. And so it's really not fasting. It's an opposite. What did the occult do? They reverse everything into opposites. And so the truth is, you're not really fasting. You're slowing. That's what you're doing. You're slowing. And that's why it's better to call it the tradition of abstinence. Slowing down with the tradition of abstinence. But they use the word fast. Okay, Michelle, I want to see if you're speaking to me here. I have been studying in sound the frequency, which some believe that the 4 letters constant gives the YH, WH. It should be a V, Michelle, and I can explain that. The W is a corruption, but a lot of people are using it. That's okay. They call it Yahweh, but it's Yahweh. Hey, the V is important. Okay, very important to check it out. I've talked about this on my back issues. Just go back to the premiere and work forward. That was 3 weeks ago when I started this new round. Okay, so which no vowel is a deeper understanding when frequency of sound is in the equation. Okay, with no vowel is deeper. Well, I can relate to what you're saying. Okay, I relate to what you're saying, and all these things are relevant. And absolutely. Okay, so continuing on with now some people are using the word Yeshua, especially in what we call the Messianic movement. Okay, and Yeshua with an S, Yeshuah. Okay, now I don't take credit for the discovery, but I found the answer to that in the book of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew by George Howard from Georgia University, State University in Georgia, and in the back of his very outstanding translation of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, kept secret and hidden away from us by the Jewish Society in their libraries and museums. He, being an expert in the Yiddish, aka Hebrew, he reveals in the back of his discussions, in the back of the book, that the word Yeshua, Yeshuah, actually comes out of the Babylonian Talmud. And Yeshua literally is a curse on the Great One. And Yeshua actually means, may his name be blotted out forever. May his name be blotted out forever. So you see, it's a curse. And I know that George Howard was not looking at this from a conspiratorial point of view. He was just stating it as a point of fact that out of the Babylonian Talmud, the book on world domination and world Zionism that hates our guts, when they took over right from the beginning and created the Messianic movement, and then therefore did the Messianic New Testament and the Old Testament, and decided to use the word Yeshua, they were just doping all of the honest Jewish society that wanted to become followers of Yeshua, and they gave him a code word that is a denigration and a corruption of our Redeemer. And it's no better than the word Jesus, because Jesus is, the healing Zeus. It's Zeus. It's Greek. It's a Greek mythology. It has nothing to do with Yeshua, you see. And so these are the problems that we are confronted with, ladies and gentlemen. But the good news is that Yeshua will respond to any name from anybody that has a pure heart. That's the good news, okay? So if you've got a pure heart, if you didn't know better, I mean, and like I've used the example before, and somebody told you his name was Bob, he'd respond to you if you called him Bob. But his whole purpose is to reveal his hidden nature and the true meanings of words. That's what the original word of Hebrew means. One of the aspects of Hebrew means to go back to the original, to go back and cross the river, to go back. Okay, and I'm getting a message here from, I got to move that thing. Okay, so Michelle, you're saying, I heard this before about the name in the Talmud. Okay, well, there you go. So you've heard it. And so now the word, so that's Yeshua. Now the word believe, man, if that ain't a word to get over, I'm telling you, because even before I knew the definition, I knew there was something wrong with the word. Because to me, the word believe, just on the surface, was sort of like, implying, well, I think so. I sort of do. Yeah, kind of like, but really the word, it's interesting because right in there in the word believe, it says be lie Eve, to belie Eve. Well, we represent Eve because Eve was the mother of all the generations, right? So to belie Eve means to betray your own birthright. So to say I believe is like saying I also betray my own birthright. But when I looked up the word believe in the Latin dictionary, I couldn't get over it. And by the way, I don't believe anything, okay? And I've said this for years because I deal with knowing. It is possible to know a thing, not to suppose something to be true. But Yeshua, And LC May says, Amen. I prayed in Jesus' name and have been answered. There you go. Yeah, and it was Jesus who introduced me to Yeshua, you know, and then and so everything is progressive. We continue to go back to the root. So I use the King James Bible. I prayed and worshiped Jesus, but then ultimately we find the more primitive original root and we work our way back. So the beauty is that he's able to relate to all of us, no matter where we are at, till we can come to that next level. Okay, but when I looked up the word believe in the Latin dictionary, then I found the meaning, and literally believe means to give little credit to something. To give little credit to something. Okay, so when somebody says I believe in Jesus, what they just said was in the code I give little credit to him. Okay, so they put us under the spell, and the way to come out of the spell is to have power and dominance over the words, not for the words to have power and dominance over you. To be set free. To be set free is to know the original spelling of words, because they control our thinking with words. And you're right, LC Mays. English is a corrupt diction, a form of communication. And then I see Michelle said, let's see here, question. Do you look into the Paleo scripts? Yeah, I look into all of them, Michelle, everything, okay? I leave no stone unturned. I study Old English, Middle English, Modern English, and I'm doing dictionaries on the Indo-Germanic mother tongue. I'm translating our scriptures based on original thought. Okay, and these are available. Okay, so real quick, I'll let everybody know. For any size donation, you can get a copy of the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary, or a copy of the Book of Wisdom, which was the writing of Joseph of Arimathea, the great uncle of Yeshua, Jesus. Or you can get a sample of the original gospel translation project that I'm doing, with the dictionary that's attached to it. So any one of these for any size donation by PayPal, okay? And you can go to therealpublicradio.net, therealpublicradio.net. The word "the" is in the front of it, THE, real, REAL, publicradio.net, therealpublicradio.net. And there's PayPal buttons there. And if you don't have the funny money that they've tricked us with, and you're not even able to make a donation, then it's okay. You just call me on the side, or go to our contact page at therealpublicradio.net, email me, and let me know you don't have any funny money, and therefore you'd like a copy. Just tell me which one you want. I always ask that you do one book at a time, whether it's a donation or a free request. Okay, and but we're trying to get the first book published, the Book of Wisdom, so we can get it to those who are in prison. Right? It's an important work. All right. So thank you for communicating with us here, friends. And let's see. Let's see here. Okay, English is corrupt. You got that right, LC Mays. So let me get back into one more. Again, two more words to go. Okay. So we did believe. Now apostles. Okay, that's an interesting one. Apostles, because when I was reading the New Testament Apocrypha, 2 volumes that came out of Germany. I had the English version, and in the introduction it was rather interesting. And this was I read this like 30 years ago, 35 years ago. Okay, and I found it really interesting. It said that the word apostles is a commercial term, and that the word apostles literally means the packages that were shipped away. It's like, what? The packages that are shipped away. Oh, wait a minute. Apostles, there's the word postal. The A is a consonant because there's a duality with the letter A, and it can be a consonant or a vowel. So shut it off, and all of a sudden you get the word postal. You see? And that's what it means, the packages that are shipped away. So you see the trick that they played with the words? They made the apostles into packages or into a commercial term. They're not in commerce. They're in spirituality. They don't have anything to do with commerce. And so So the word apostles, therefore, we got to go back to the original. Throw that word away because it's not right. It's not true. It's not correct. It's incomplete. And it's all misleading. And we don't need it when it's wrong. We go back to the original. What was the original word in the Aramaic for those who follow the light of the truth, who were the emissaries of the royal king, the royal ruler? It is Malek. We talked about even the diction is called Arche Malek. Aramaic, Arche Malek. Malek means royal messengers, the voice of the light, the voice of the sun. So it is royal Malek, royal messengers, messengers of light. That's what they were. Is it not true? You see, and they took it away. They robbed us. They robbed us of all of the original words because they don't want us having the original words. They want us to have their code words, their occult rituals, their commercial terms. They made us bastards, ignoramuses, stoops, poops, and dupes. People unintelligent, unable to see and read it for ourselves. It's a wonderful world, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. How do you like planet Earth? Been around for a while. It keeps going around, doesn't it? Okay, well, we're going to get out of here. Okay? We're going to get out because we're destined to leave this planet. It's a given. There's nobody can keep their soul alive on this planet. We were here to figure it out. The whole purpose of our coming here was to figure out the great mystery, the deception, and the lies, and the deceit. And it goes back to a quote I just came up with about a week ago. The best way to figure out the truth is to figure out the lies. And once you can figure out the lies, then the truth gets real easy. Because as it says in 1 John 2:27, but the anointing that you have received of him abides in you, and you need not anyone to teach you anything, because the same anointing can teach you about all things, and it is the truth, and it is not a part of any lie. Not a part of any lie. Not a part of any lie. And even as it teaches you, you will remain in it. You want to be in the truth, don't you? You don't want to be a part of a lie. It's a cleansing operation. It's an alchemy. It's a transformation. It's a rising from the dead into the living. And the last word we're doing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is hail. You know, and this one, and I had the good fortune of comparing notes with a friend in Germany. And then I saw one half, and she saw the other half. And then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, okay? Because the only part I knew was to rise, you know, to rise. But turns out in German, from, you know, their perspective in Deutschland, it is LC May saying, I'm ready. All right, LC, way to go. We're all ready, aren't we? That's why we're here. Okay. So, but in the Deutsch, Heil, like, you know, Heil, when they said Heil Hitler, right? Heil, hail, two aspects of the same word, hail, Heil. But in there it was be healed, and so literally this is so when the Gabriel came and appeared to Mary, the first one that knew the Mashiach was coming. Mary, who the virgin mother of Yeshua, right? And now Gabriel, the giver of light, comes to her in the vision, and he says, "Hail Mary, Hail Mary." What he really said was, and the German part was "be healed." He literally said, "Rise and be healed by the enlightenment, Mary. Rise and be healed by the enlightenment." You get it? Hail, rise up and be healed by the enlightenment, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that what Yeshua came to bring us? Was the enlightenment? The enlightenment. The golden age of light and truth and reason and knowing. There is nothing unknown that cannot be known. There is nothing in secret that cannot be revealed. There is nothing hidden that cannot be discovered. Everything in the cosmos was meant to be known. It's the way it's designed. Star, good to have you back. Or you've been here the whole time. Have you been here the whole time? All right. Yeah, well, really glad to have you back. We've been praying for her, and still need to hear your story. Maybe you call me on the side. And yeah, so hallelujah, hallelujah, right? And so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And just a quick book review. I want to share everybody. I mentioned the two Babylons at the beginning here, and then I went right into those words. I love revealing their code. You kind of noticed that, didn't you? And the Stone Kingdom of Yahweh, spreading some love and good vibes to everyone. Hey there, Stone Kingdom, good to have you. And I think that's your first time jumping in over here, and feel like I subscribed to your channel. That's probably what I did. And so welcome. And so, okay, ladies and gentlemen, one book that really, really helped me out in my spiritual walk. Oh, Star fell asleep with my voice in her ear. Okay, well, I'm going to have to get a little more emotional in it or something. Don't want you falling asleep there, Star. That's okay. You're entitled to that. Okay. Hey, everybody, you got to go to her website or go to her YouTube channel, Star Wilson, and she's got one of the most beautiful voices, $1 million singer, and I'm sure she's a professional on the other side. She's just not telling anybody. She's making the big bucks, because she's got $1 million voice, and certainly should be. And I'd hope for a good donation. But anyway, check her out, Star Wilson, right there, and her YouTube channel. And I was absolutely astounded when I just listened to this one where she sang with a split screen on her computer. She's healing, yes, you are, and do heal, Star, okay? But she really did a two-way classic. I've never seen, and the balance they had on the sound and the coordination, it was just like, it was just good enough to hear her singing, but to realize they're in two different parts of the world singing on a computer, I thought that was amazing. So I really dug that. So thank you, Star, for all your work, your dedication to making us all feel better with your own special talent. But ladies and gentlemen, I got this book back. I was in my mid-20s, okay, and it helped me out. It got me a foothold. It's called The Two Babylons, or The Papal Worship, proved to be the worship of Nimrod and his wife by the Reverend Alexander Hislop, with 61 woodcut illustrations from Nineveh, Babylon, Egypt, which is really Mitzrayim, Pompeii, and so on, by Lazelle Brothers out of Neptune, New Jersey, and they're out of business now. So, they were in business when I got this book back 45 years ago or whenever it happened. And so this is a rare book now, and so go look for it. First edition, 1916. First American edition, 1943. And second American edition, 1959. And so basically, this is, as best as I know the story, it's an old book. And if you look in the bibliography, the resources go back to the as early as the 1400s. Okay, 1400s. And this book, I mean, the footnotes and the appendices and the graphics. I've read this book twice, and I'm trying to read it a third time, and it is so exhaustive. I mean, the people back, in the earlier days in England, and we kind of think that we're somehow smarter or something. No way. These people were scholars, especially like in the 1800s. That was the pinnacle of scholarship. That's why Farrar Fenton gave us the best Bible translation ever in 1905. I hope you check out Farrar Fenton if you hadn't heard about it. Go listen to our back programming here, because I talk all about it. But then the Rockefeller Foundations took over our schooling in the early part of the 1900s, and so we became dupes and poops and stoops, and ate up all the rat poison they gave us to become educated, and then we didn't know anything, and we can't even think anymore with the fluoride in our water. But these people were on a higher par. And so you're gonna know about the the connection of the Vatican, because I'm amazed. I'm really amazed that people don't get it, that they just don't get that the Vatican is the head of the beast system. And yeah, that's right. They were very advanced back. They were scholars. They didn't have, they didn't have the technology for controlling us the way they do now. Everything's electronic, right? And it took them a while to get their clique together, but they've done it. And so but the two Babylons makes it so clear that what the Vatican is ultimately the perfection of Babylon. Okay, Babylon, listen to the word, baby lion, baby lion. So Babylon was the beginning of a construction of the Western system, not the East. The East had a different system in India, but the Western system. Okay, and so the Western system then becomes perfected. The baby lion becomes the full-grown lion as the Vatican, 3,000 years later. Or, well, no, I mean, we're talking Roman Empire. So within 1,000 years, give or take. So it took about 1,000 years. Well, let's see, 1,500, maybe 2,000, without, give or take, 1,500, 2,000 years. And then the Roman Empire converts itself into a religious state, because they knew that it was easier to control the world through religion than through politics. And so that's what they've done. So the two Babylons just shows the occult nature of the beast system, the code words that they use for different, goddesses and gods and, and deities and all that. It's just, you got to get the two Babylons, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure it's out of print now. I suspect it'll probably never be back in print since the Vatican is trying to run the world. So it's probably $60 a copy, I bet, on Amazon right now. So get the two Babylons, all right? And by the way, the book that tells you about the Jewish identity I referred to earlier, when I told you all the dates of the first time the word Jew was used, which was 1730, first time we find the word Jew, because the letter J didn't even exist up until 250 years ago, give or take, all right? So there were no Jews in our scriptures ever. And I have, by the way, I have friends who are Jews, so this is not a slam on Jewish society as a whole. We're talking about a culture, primarily banking and secret societies that are running our world and murdering people, killing our friends and our families and our cultures, destroying our world. So, but it doesn't mean all of them are part of it. It's a fact. There's good people. There's even good Freemasons. I've met them. I just wish they'd get out of the occult ritual that drinks blood and rapes babies. But anyway, nonetheless, if you want to get a copy of the book on Jewish identity and the history of the word Jew, that takes you back as far as it goes, which is only 1,000 years ago. Okay, not even. Then get the book Jewish Identity by Charles A. Weisman. That's Weisman, Charles A. Weisman, Weisman. I've interviewed Charles a few times. I've been when I used to go to the gun shows back last century and sold books at the gun shows. They sold guns, I sold books. I used to have all of his stuff. I'd get it wholesale and make it available. Okay, so Jewish Identity, and he's out of Minnesota, I believe. But just do a Google search for Charles A. Weisman, Weisman Publications, okay, and get the book Jewish Identity. He's got a whole library of books he's published. I can't get over how talented this guy was. Okay, so get that and get informed, ladies and gentlemen. Be set free. Somebody has controlled our minds, and once you wake up to the racket and the game that is played, then you can be set free. And they can't control your thinking. They might be able to control your body. They may be able to arrest you. They may be able to throw you in a prison, but they can't control your mind. That's the secret, okay? The mark of the beast, they want to put a chip in your hand. They put a chip in your hand. You can still worship your Redeemer. They can't control you just by putting a chip in your hand, okay? Are you a slave? It says don't seek to be set free. Are you free? Then don't seek to be a slave. So whatever state you're in, you can still get on your knees before your Redeemer. Yeah, they'll torture you. Sure, they torture you. I was tortured, okay? But it's that's when you know what the crown of thorns is all about. Okay? Most people don't know what the crown of thorns is all about until they've been tortured, and then they get the picture. Oh, the crown of thorns, that's the mental anguish that you'll go through one day when they're torturing you. But the secret behind the crown of thorns is that particular bush that has the thorns on it grows a red fruit once a year, and you can eat the fruit. It's sweet. And so what it means is, in the metaphor, is what was periodically in your life when you're following the truth. You may be tortured for what you follow, but if you can just hang in there, no matter how great the mental anguish and pain that you're going through, in your isolation and your torture, if you just hang in there, just like you know that the sun will rise, you never question whether the sun will rise, do you? You know the sun will rise, just like you know the sun will rise. You know your Redeemer, Yeshua, he does come to rescue you. And what was once a crown of thorns upon your head will become the sweetest red fruit you ever wanted to eat, ladies and gentlemen. And I can tell you firsthand, and you just got the forbidden history. It's what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every morning starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. 2 a day, because it's that bad and somebody's got to do it. And I'm just happy to have that job. They got their job. Good for them. I feel sorry for them. Worthless, no good. And I'm very grateful for all of you. I've made some wonderful friends here on YouTube. I know YouTube, they're going to be pulling our plug. They don't want us telling the truth either. We know that that it's the other side. It's the other side, and they don't love truth, and it's an engineering of our world. And much love to you, Star, and get some rest and get better. Get some good regenerative food in your body, okay? And breathe deep. Do some deep breathing, but not outside. Maybe get in there, air purifier, and do some deep breathing, and get some oxygen. Flood your body with oxygen. That's one of the most important elements we don't get enough of. And so don't forget. And love to you also, Teresa. Thank you. And just don't forget, okay? If you want to know the future, ladies and gentlemen, then you need to look for the forbidden history. What they didn't want you to know, but I tell right here. Thank you, Sandgroper Studios out there in Australia. All of you, I'll look for you tomorrow. Peace and love. Good night, and be safe. And tell your friends. Good night, Jenna.